All right, guys, I just had another snow squall just pass through here, and the location that I'm at is actually unique because looking down this valley, I could see the snow squalls coming towards me, and they move quick. So looking down these peaks, I can actually see it approaching and then prepare for it because it is open to this side. The reason why I got the tent this way is I don't want the ocean side to this. That's okay, the ocean, not so much because that cold air. So I can prepare to like close everything up and keep the snow out of the tent. Luckily, they've only been passing by like 5 minutes in length and then they're gone. So right now it looks like there's some real dark, ominous clouds that way coming this way, but nothing that looks like snow yet. So that's the fourth snow squall that has passed through. And as you guys can tell, I'm shivering and shaking. I've got my marmot down jacket on. I'm wet and I'm cold. I've got all my dry, warm clothes inside, plus my dry sleeping bag. So I'm just gonna tough it out for now like I always do. And then later on, get nice and warm and dry. So, whew, 10 out of 10 for views up here, guys. This is beautiful. And I'm so glad I came here with a tent. Like, just to be out here to camp in the shot, be in the epic is what I'm after. Sure, I could go down in the woods and camp out and be nice and normal. I'm not normal. I don't want to be normal. This is where it's at. So I'm going to start on supper and get some hot food into me because I am cold. And yeah, it's getting dark. So I did bring dehydrated meal. I'm going to be using the Trangia again. So I got to get that full of water. And that brings me to my other concern, not really concern. I don't have a lot of water, but there are puddles up here. That is obviously fresh water from snow and rain that I can collect and then boil. So if I run out, I can do that. But right now I just have a tiny little bottle to basically make my dehydrated meal with. And then a little bit of water in the morning for coffee, hot drinks. Boomer's been drinking out of the puddle, so he's got plenty of food, plenty of water. He's inside right now asleep. He ran that trail. Like, he must have hiked it by himself like 5 times. He ran all the way up and then all the way back to check on me and then all the way back. And he is a champ. So yeah, I definitely need food, and like I said, it's getting dark, so let's get cooking. Alright guys, just finished up with supper and trying to get some of this pasta scraped off this pot because it kind of got away from me when I was filming, and I wanted to have it really nice and hot because it is cold out, and yeah, things didn't really work out. So I'm just going to add a little bit more methyl hydrate fuel now that the stove is totally burned out. I can do that without causing any kind of flare up. So pour some of that in there and grab a match. So my matches are actually wet. I did bring a fire steel with me, but if I strike them enough times, I can get lucky and actually get a match too light. So I'm gonna try that. And yeah, get this boiled up here so I can have a clean pot for in the morning. That actually went really well. So the matches are starting to dry out now. They were totally fine. They only got wet because the snow squall came in. So I had my backpack open, which was a little foolish. But anyways, so that's gonna burn off any excess alcohol that I just spilled on the ground. Clean that all up. Get this pot boiling, let it steam inside with the lid on, and all that food will just come out really easily. It is definitely beautiful out here, guys. For real. Like, the sky is actually starting to part. There's a lot of clouds off in this direction, but then the other direction, it's actually opening up. I can see some stars showing, and being up so high, I can see all the little towns below, and this cars driving down these little meandering roads, their headlights and stuff. So that's pretty awesome. The downside of the night is going to be I'm not going to be able to see the snow squalls coming at me. So right now I can see one starting to make its way up the valley, but as it gets later, I'll shut the door anyways, so it's not a big deal. But right now, it's almost out of visibility, so which means I'm going to get slammed with the snow squall because it's going to sneak up on me. So I'm going to try and do this really quickly, and I may make up another hot drink. I'm not too sure. It is cold up here, and obviously I'm not having a campfire, so there's really no point in sitting out in the cold unless the clouds get out of here and there's a ton of stars up there. Then I will stay out. But ultimately, if it stays like this, I'll probably just head inside the tent and get nice and cozy and warm with Boomer and put a movie on Netflix. All right, guys, we are all changed and ready for the evening. It is going to be comfortable in here. So this is actually the first time I've laid down on the mat, and I gotta say it is leaning hard downhill. But once I settle in and get my butt groove in the pad here, I think I'll be fine. I don't think I'll be sliding towards the bottom. And if I am, I'll just put my camera bag underneath the pad to prop it up a little bit higher, and I'll be totally fine. Everything in here is situated nicely. Boomer is ready for playtime, as you guys can see. He's been doing really good. He's a little tired out from the hike. He was napping, but now he is wide awake. So I'm going to play with him for a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be doing a whole lot else as far as going outside. It's very dark out there, and headlamp is needed for sure. So I think if I got to go out just for a pee break, I'll do that. But as far as walking around on those rocks out there, it's just not a good idea. One slip and gone in 2 seconds. So we are going to relax inside the tent, guys. I've got Netflix movies saved to my phone, and yeah, that's probably going to be it. I got some snacks in here as well, so we'll snack on a few things and take the night fairly simple, and hopefully be up early in the morning with hopefully a sunset. And as of right now, Here comes another snow squall. Hear the ice tapping on the tent. This is a canvas tent, by the way. So it's very breathable, which is really nice. That's going to be an awesome sound. So we're going to say goodnight, guys, and we'll catch up with you first thing in the morning. Good night, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It is a stunning morning up here today. It is very cloudy. There was no sunrise, just a little sliver of pink and yellow coming up under the cloud line, but sadly no sunrise. But I will say, waking up here is incredible. It is chilly. It is not freezing cold yet, though, so it hasn't dipped below zero this morning yet. Last night it did dip to about -2, and being up in this very unique area with the coast and the mountains, it kind of mixes with that air. So it actually felt almost like a warm front rolling in last night, which is really strange. But yeah, it was cold. I did have my sleeping bag zipped up the entire night like a little cocoon. And yeah, everything went really well. So for the first time last night in a long time, I actually slept through the entire night, which is very interesting for me because usually I'm up and stirring and kind of moving, even at home. But last night I actually slept, which is kind of an eye-opener, you know? Being out here and being up here and just doing what I do is seeming to talk to me a little bit. I don't know if that makes sense. Being up on this mountain, certainly. I mean, I think anybody coming up here enjoying these views would definitely feel something. I would hope you would feel something. So this morning is very simple. I've got not a coffee. I actually have a hot matcha tea, green tea. It's kind of like a little espresso mix. So definitely enjoying this. It looks like it is going to be a cloudy one today, possibly snow. So we do need to get off of this mountain sooner than later. I did have breakfast very early inside of the sleeping bag. I had an oatmeal bar and a Cliff Bar. So quite fitting, seeing that I'm sitting back to a cliff right now, and if I move, I will fall. So I'm trying to be very careful, and Boomer is not helping that situation. But this is too awesome to pass up, just being in this location, being in this area, being in this element, in this time, is definitely exciting. Very, very exciting. So I'm happy I was able to get up here before major snowfall of the winter. Because climbing up here in the winter with massive ice and snow just would not be smart. So very happy the timing worked out. I was able to get up here and enjoy this. The tent did very, very well, guys. That canvas tent was super breathable, very strong. It got really, really windy last night. I mean, windy to the point where I almost thought the side of the door was actually going to peel up. So it held together super strong, very, very strong. Very happy with that. And yeah, just looking at the area, super picturesque right now. Moody, cloudy, cold. So I'm going to finish up my hot drink and get Boomer situated here, get him some breakfast, and take the morning from there. So cheers, guys, and good morning. All right, guys, so doing the process of the pack up right now. I've got so many different items here. Coming up here, hiking alone, being a photographer, being a filmmaker, being an adventurist, being my own sound guy, my own film guy, my own camera person, my own photographer, my own everything. Literally one-man show. It makes it difficult sometimes because, like, I've got the drone here, which in itself has a controller. I mean, these two items right here alone are quite heavy and somewhat bulky. So I've got to carry that. I've also got a plethora of batteries, and I mean a ton of batteries, which are very heavy. I've got audio equipment, so I've got an external microphone. Right now I'm using my DJI wireless microphones just because it's too windy up here. So, and then I've got camera lenses, so I've got my 50mm here ready to go. Just a whole bunch of different things. Phone for multimedia, phone in my pocket for like actually calling emergencies, cooking equipment, just everything. Like, there's so much to bring behind the scenes, and often I try and hide a lot of that. You know, I try to hide the drone, the camera gear, but on this adventure I might as well share with you guys what really goes into an arduous hike such as this, all the way up here in the mountain with the snow, the elements, the cold, just bringing all the production gear just to make sure you get everything in camera is sometimes a lot. It's more than what a lot of people think. So whenever I'm driving, I'm flying my own drone. Whenever I put the camera down, I've got to go up, set it up, come all the way back and forth and all that stuff. I love it, don't get me wrong. That's the putting the pieces of the puzzle together that I love. But I just want to share that with you guys. There's a lot more than just going for a hike. I have not gone for a hike or camping without camera gear or an itinerary for YouTube or Instagram in years. I don't even remember the last time that I actually planned a hike to go without a camera. It's just part of who I am, it's part of what I do. So I love sharing, and I love capturing those memories too, you know? So with that all said, I'm not gonna bore you guys with the rest of the process. I'm just gonna pack it up, jam it all in the backpack, and hopefully it all fit again. So let's get that done. All right, guys, one thing I am going to do different today as opposed to yesterday is I'm not going to put the tent inside of the stuff sack. The main reason for that is the tent is actually still a little bit wet on the outside, and there's no point jamming it inside of here because it just has to come out and get dried out anyways. So wasting my energy and efforts on getting that in there is just redundant right now. I don't feel it's a need. It'll fit in the backpack totally fine, no problem. So I'm gonna jam it in there like that. It does fit in the stuff sack rather easily. I mean, just like any other tent, it does take a few moments, but it does fit back in there. I just don't feel like it's a wise use of energy or time right now, so I'm not gonna bother. Now, my backpack is a front and top load, which makes this process incredibly easy. I can literally open up the front, kind of look in and see what's where, and then place things where I see fit, and then close the front window and just continue unpacking from the top. And it just makes things a lot easier. I'm going to be putting a lot of stuff inside the backpack this morning, even my jacket, because it's going to be way too warm with body heat climbing off this mountain that I'm not going to need a jacket. It'll be way too hot. I brought some Pop-Tarts with me. So I brought these chocolate chip cookie dough style Pop-Tarts, really soft. I'm going to be eating those on the way down for sure, because I can already feel my stomach kind of growling. What I like to do is keep my keys near the top of my backpack. So everything in my pocket to my jacket, because I know I'm not going to be wearing my jacket. I'm just going to dump all my little pocket goodies, camera battery, everything that I think I'm going to need when I get to the Jeep, on the top of my bag. That way I don't have to rip the whole backpack apart. So that will go towards the top. Toque in there, sleeping bag. This is the easiest thing to pack away because it's all downfill. So jam this in here like this. And guys, the reason why I'm mentioning this is I always get asked, how do you pack? How does everything fit in there? It's not a magic trick, it's just repetition. So jam this in here, save this for last because it will form around every little nook and cranny because it's downfill, and it really fills out the backpack and gives it shape where larger, bulkier, fixed objects won't go. So do that last, get that crammed in there. I'm already getting hot, guys, so get this off, make sure everything's out of my pockets, and that is how I like to pack up. Probably similar to a lot of people, probably drastically different from a lot of people, but that is what I find works. So again, that bag on top, spin the backpack around. I still have my camera bag and the actual camera itself that I've got to carry out of here. So that is always the fun part, carrying all that extra weight other than a backpack. Just the added effort to go into all this that a lot of people don't know about because it's usually off camera. So that right there is my pack loaded up. Whew, getting some cold ears. Then I've got the camera bag here, which I'm going to be wearing around my neck on the front, which is horrible, but it works. This bag is probably about 20 pounds right now, easily. And that's not even counting the tripod, the camera, the really heavy lens that's on the camera, and the audio gear and things of that nature. So that is basically it, guys. So I'm going to wrap the video up right here, get all this packed up, and start hiking off this mountain. It's going to take me a while. So I want to say thank you guys very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this adventure. If you have any questions or comments, drop it down below as always. And until next time, peace out. I'll see you in the next adventure.